and you move from it, and you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's decided that. You know, it's like when you're lost. A part of my brain's got me lost, but then there's another bit that I don't know what it is, where they go left. And you do, and then you go, remember that time when you called me and I said I don't know where I am, and I couldn't concentrate?
Think of that! I called him! Oh my god, what are you doing? I don't know where I am.
What do you mean you didn't know where you were?
I got lost. I went
in
wandering.
London you got lost?
Yeah. And I went wandering, and then, you know...
It's when he first moved into his new place. He was walking back from his old place to his new place, and he didn't know where he was. He tried to take a short...
How can you ever really get lost in London, though? I'm just... As a cabbie.
Well, yeah, I don't want to do that, because I feel bad pulling one over and then saying, where am I?
Yeah, they don't appreciate that, do they?
But I found my way back, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you told me one time that you much prefer getting lost. You love wandering around and getting lost. You said that's much better.
Yeah, it was a cold day. It was a cold day. I just wanted to be at home. I had things to do. There's a time and place to be lost.
Well, go on.
Well, a place you don't know.
What's the place to be lost?
Somewhere you don't know.
Right, good. Okay,
and the time?
The
time when you're not in a rush.
Right.
But that time I was in a rush, and I was cold.
So a typical argument in your head is what? I'm lost. I'll do one side of the brain, you do the other side of the brain, okay, in your head, okay? Carl.
What?
This isn't where we should be. You want to go home, didn't you? This isn't your house, because it's a field. You live in a house, don't you? Why are we standing in a field? This isn't your house. You were meant to go home, but you've walked into a field.
No, but that wouldn't. I've never been that lost. When I'm walking across a field, at the edge of the field, I'd go, hang on a minute, this isn't right. I wouldn't get in the middle. I wouldn't go that far. I'd go, right, I definitely shouldn't be here.
You did once. You were in the middle of a field, and your dad had to rescue you.
Yeah,
and carry
that's
you
when
through
I was a kid, because I was reading as I was walking.
And he never read again.
But there's another sense. I was in the middle of nettles there.
Yeah.
I'd walked. It was at my brother's wedding in Cornwall, and I was walking near a cliff edge,
reading a book.
And okay, so okay. Carl, I know you're enjoying this book. Can I have a word with you? Just look past the book a minute. There's a big drop.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened, and then that's when my other senses went, hang on a minute, I'm being stung. Load of nettles and stuff. And I just had to wait there for ages until my dad sort of thought, where's Carl? I was there for about an hour and a half.
You showed a book.
Fuck me like a cartoon.
But why are you wandering off reading a book when it's your brother's wedding?
No, this was like, we were in, I think it was St Ives in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in St Ives, and just, you know, it was a nice day in that. There was no telly in the place. It was a horrible house. It was haunted.
Wow.
Actually. No, honestly.
No, not honestly. It wasn't haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts. So you saying honestly it was haunted means fuck all.
It's the weirdest place and weirdest sensation I've ever had. I spoke to a woman called Mrs. Battersby.
Right.
Who sat on my bed keeping me up all night. My mum came up, she said, you look shattered. I said, yeah, I haven't had a kip all night. She said, why? I said, I've been talking to Mrs. Battersby. She said, who's that? I said, no, some old woman. Now, I can't remember it now, but that's what I did then. And then,
Sorry, so Mrs. Battersby didn't exist, is that what you're saying? She was the ghost?
Yeah.
Wasn't the landlady?
No, there's no landlady. It's a big house, about 12 bedrooms in it.
Right.
Dead cheap to stay there, because it was a wreck. My mum and dad went out one night.
Did you have flu at the time?
No, I had nothing like that. I just...
So you were sitting up, but you were awake, and you were having a conversation with Mrs. Battersby.
What did she look like?
I can't remember. I can't even remember having the chat now.
Right,
but at the time, I was like, oh, she just doesn't shut up. Chatting all night.
So you don't remember this happening? Or you do remember it happening?
No, I remember that, like, if I see my mum now and I mention St. Ives, she'll go, oh yeah, Mrs. Battersby. She remembers coming in, because she was older than me, wasn't she? So, to her, my mum.
Was she?
Yeah.
How old was Mrs. Battersby? She was older than both of you.
She was old, because I'm calling her Mrs. Battersby. If she was my age, I'd probably say, oh, it's Susan or whatever.
Right, sure.
You call older people by the surname, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she kept me up all night. Dunno, I'm thinking of pictures at the wedding.
Why do you have to go through other things to just have a memory?
How old do you reckon you were?
I don't understand why you haven't got direct access to your memories.
How old do you reckon you were?
Your mum was older though, yeah?
You must have a vague idea of when this
I'm
event
thinking about
was.
it now. I'm thinking. I'm
Okay.
picturing the picture of myself at this wedding.
Okay.
And how old are you? What are you doing?
How tall were
I'd say
you?
I look about.
How were you?
I'd say I look about 7 or 8. Looking at the picture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So Mrs. Battersby is chatting away to you. You don't remember what she said, but you do remember having the conversation.
No, he doesn't remember it
I
at
don't
all.
remember the chat now.
Well, then
So-
why are you telling? You
not
must
your
remember it
memory.
because you're telling us about
It's not
it.
your
Because it's a
memory.
memory. My mum's reminded me of it.
Yeah, but all it says is, oh, this is so far removed. This is hearsay that your mum said you spoke to a ghost once, and you don't even remember the ghost.
Mrs. Battersby.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, but
remember
you
the
don't
name
remember
because
her.
your mum reminded you of
In a
it.
court of law, if there was a ghost court, they go hearsay, thrown out of court.
Right.
You
yeah.
don't have a memory of Mrs.
No,
Battersby.
look, I know that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I ate a beetle. I ate a beetle because I thought it was licorice. Now, I can't remember that now.
You can't remember that, but you know it happened because your mother told you it happened.
Exactly.
Right. But the fundamental thing is that we can believe we can believe you ate a beetle, right? Because that is something that could happen in real life.
But-
what we're questioning is that you spoke to a ghost.
I thought it was licorice. What sort of beetle was it?
Just one of them standard beetles, just the black shiny one.
Thing is, right, a couple of years ago, we were in the Ivy, and the food came, and there's a big blob of wasabi, right? It was like called an Oriental hors d'oeuvre, right? And I looked over at Carl, and he started going, drinking water. I said, what have you done? He said, I said, that was a blob of wasabi. He said, I thought it was one mushy pea.
That's a classy restaurant where they're serving one mushy pea.
Well, they do that, don't they?
Wow.
Small portions. It's all trendy, isn't it?
I love the fact that it's exactly the same thing. They've swapped beetle for wasabi
Yeah.
and licorice for pea. You see things, you see something, you
It's a
think,
good job you remembered that anecdote though, because he doesn't.
exactly, yeah. In years to come, we'll be going, ate some wasabi once. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, according to Ricky, I did, yeah. I was in the Ivy. I thought it were mushy pea.
So hang on, I just want to go back to Mrs. Battersby because
What
you
other-
confidently said it
most
was haunted. It was the most haunted place.
Yeah.
But you've got no real evidence for it because even you claim you had this encounter, you don't even remember it.
Yeah, but you don't remember everything in life,
But you
do you?
supposedly had a conversation with a ghost.
I know, but I didn't know. When I was younger, I
But you
didn't think
remember
that
the
was a ghost.
specifics of an ant
So
walking
you-
around.
Yeah, so you thought, so I see. If you'd have had the memory, it would just be a nice old lady on the end of your bed all night.
Right.
And then,
Then when I mentioned it, my mum was saying, what do you mean, Mrs. Battersby? Who's Mrs. Battersby?
right?
When you're a kid, you're not terrified, are you?
No.
Nothing scares
I mean,
you.
I'm beginning to think who the fuck is Mrs. Battersby, I must admit. But
So, yeah, that was, but it was a weird place. I mean, there was no telly. All they had for sort of company was a calculator.
Carl, you're the strangest little man that's ever
extraordinary.
lived. Company, he had a company.
No.
There goes Carl with his friend. What's his friend? Oh, it's a little...
It's a Sanyo 4197G.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, calculator, do that boobs thing again.
My mum and dad used to go out. I stayed in there.
Just shots of him with his calculator on the beach. Like that. It's Sunday. Maybe beautiful and the
4 plus 16, what will it be?
My only friend was a calculator. Oh God! Just imagine the shots of him in Vietnam, just carrying Tommy.
When the battery's tied, they had to have a funeral for him.
His barrels are all over the floor. Oh fucking hell! The only company was a calculator. Before I used to knock around with a brick. Oh fuck me! Carl, the human body is one of the things that you're actually genuinely fascinated in. This is one of the things that you admit is quite amazing, and I think we all agree with that. Here's some quite incredible stats and facts about the human body. What do you think of this? 50,000 of the cells in your body will die and be replaced with new cells, all while you're listening to this sentence.
Go on.
Well, that's it.
What's the sentence?
That was the sentence.
What was the sentence again?
Well, it doesn't matter. The sentence doesn't matter. 50,000 just dying and being replaced in that time.
But what are they doing?
Different cells do different things. Some are taste buds. Some carry hemoglobin and oxygen to other cells.
Yeah.
Some are skin. Some are liver.
I've heard about skin. I've heard of skin, sort of.
What? What you heard? Little rumour about skin. You heard about skin? What?
It's just it
Keeps
just,
all your stuff from falling on the fucking floor?
well, it's a thing that makes you what you are as well, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
More than anything.
Why?
Well, without the skin, you're just a skeleton. You look all the same.
No, you're not just a skeleton, no.
Other than your lungs and your heart and your kidneys and stuff. What I'm saying is,
I know,
went to
and
that-
all the flesh on top and all the blood vessels and all
I
the...
went to that bodies exhibition.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is it. He knows all about the human body and science because he went to the bodies exhibition.
Do you know where the German fella cuts bodies up?
Yes.
Now, he had a load of people on show. Could have all been the same family. Because everyone, without the skin on their head, looks the same. Other than height,
Yeah.
everybody looks exactly the same.
And that's why racism is so stupid.
Well, it's a good point. Good point, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's saying that, though, I did think most of them were Chinese.
What made you draw that conclusion?
It's just the eyes.
They didn't have any eyelids!
Honestly, if you've seen it, it looks, there's something that, and they're a bit mad, aren't they? They do all that endurance stuff, and I thought, this is the ultimate way to go, isn't it?
I think
That's
that's
the
Japanese, yeah. Just
Is it?
completely different race, culture, country, nation.
Right, well, the Japanese then, I reckon they've donated their body to it.
You started off saying you cannot tell anything about where they come from because they haven't got any skin.
It was just the eyes.
It didn't occur to you, I mean, was there not any information saying where the bodies were sourced from?
They don't tell you, they just tell you that if you want to be part of an exhibition later in your life, put your name down.
And what did you learn about the body from this exhibition?
Well, I told you. You know, we all look similar. At the end of the day, your skin is what makes people...
Look different.
Yeah, that's the bit that makes you look like you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's the bit that you can tell how old somebody is.
Yeah,
like
that's what you recognise. You don't
That's what-
recognise someone's skeleton and their brain.
Unless it's the Elephant Man. But then again, with the skin on, I couldn't tell you how old he was. There's something about his head and everything that he's ageless. He could buy a packet of fags and be underage. He could get on a bus and say he's an OAP. I have not got a clue how old the Elephant Man was. There's no distinguishing things for his age, is there? But with most people, it's the skin that does it. Strip all that away, and they were all stood upright as well. They weren't sort of unched.
Right.
Unched.
They'd been straightened up.
Not unched then. Is that the German bloke? Unched.
But what did I learn? That's what you're asking me.
Yeah, what did you learn?
Could I answer that?
Sure.
Fuck all, probably.
Oh, there we are.